If you're the leader, and I believe very strongly that toxicity is never productive, and leaders should never allow it. Right? Patrick and I have a real no asshole policy where we work. Somebody could be amazing at their job, but if they're not nice to people and they are creating a toxic environment and they're being disrespectful, they should not have the privilege to work with us. Right? Mm-hmm. We can always find someone else who can do that job equally or better, right? So I think leaders, and this is a philosophy, I believe this with the core of my being, that leaders have a responsibility to fix this, right? To look out for it. If it's pointed out to them, they should acknowledge it and deal with it. Hopefully they have a good HR partner to figure out how to go about doing an investigation, how to make sure that you're not making any false accusations, right? That you're removing bias from the situation. But toxic environments are crippling, they are crushing, and they prevent people from being productive because they're thinking about the drama all day. So even if you didn't care about being nice to people and treating people with respect, you should care about eliminating toxicity in your environment because it's distracting people from being the most effective. So I think that is, first of all, super duper important. When you encounter toxicity, or when you encounter anything, I think the first question I would ask, is this temporary or is it permanent, right? Is it a really tough 2 weeks that everyone has to get through where we know people are going to be grumbly because they're up all night and we just have to get through it? Or is this, deep in the core of our being? When you encounter toxicity, is it one bad apple? Or is it the entire culture where it's become acceptable, where some behaviors or some interactions have become acceptable? So I think figuring out those, like doing a diagnostic as a leader and really making sure that you understand what's going on, what might be causing it before you address it. And then, just like every leader needs to do when you encounter something that's not okay, you notice it and you name it and you call it out and you say, this is what happened last week in this meeting. That is not acceptable. We do not allow that kind of behavior. Zero tolerance policy, right? For bullying, for whatever it is that happened that is causing the toxic environment. And when people hear that from a leader and when they see consequences that occur, when they see that people are being celebrated for healthy things and not for toxic things, that's what helps everyone understand what's okay and what's not okay, right? That's what writes the rule of the road, right, when it comes to leadership. So before we tackle from the employee's perspective, Patrick, what do you think about that? What have you done as a leader in your environments if you've noticed toxicity or if it was pointed out to you?
The last 15 years of my career, I bring a tank to kill an ant. Like, you can't allow those behaviors to stay. Now, corporate America doesn't make it easy to exit. A lot of firms, a lot of companies, a lot of whatever, particularly the publicly traded kind, operate from a model of fear of the unknown. Meaning, is the employee going to sue us? Like, how do you gauge toxic? How do you gauge negative versus positive mental attitude? And I took a run at this several times at the bank, and did accomplish it at Fiserv. Accomplished it at the bank too, but it was harder at the bank back in the day, where I wanted their reviews, the quarterly sit-down reviews, to include attitude. And I got a lot of pushback on that. Like, how do you write a goal for attitude? And people think I have a salty mouth. In this book here with the a-hole comment, I loved it. I said the same thing in the room. I'd be like, why do we want assholes working here? I mean, we have a lot of good humans here, and the place is hard enough. These places are hard. It doesn't matter where you work. The places where I work, the places where you work, wherever anyone work. Could be the Marine Corps, could be the Colleyville Police Department. I don't know, whatever. I mean, people make things harder than they need to be. We all have jobs because people exist. Mistakes happen because of people. And until Skynet rises and the machines are running the earth before they turn on us, imperfection is the word. Imperfection. We're not perfect. God didn't create perfect beings. We're going to make mistakes. Our outside lives impact our inside lives, right? Like, lots of people deal with a lot of tough things, and then they come to work, they're going to make mistakes. Don't confuse people having a tough time with toxicity. Now, let me turn the wheel and say, there are people that wake up in the morning and make everyone else's day hell. I don't know why. I've never figured that out. But there are. It's almost like there's some people out there that find joy in sprinkling bullshit through an environment and watching people turn. So I had a boss, God rest his soul. I won't say his name, but for some of you who are listening to this, the company was GenPass Technologies, and he was the founder and CEO. He would say out loud, I like it when my direct reports argue with each other. It breeds a different level of engagement and ideation. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I've never bought into that. But GenPass was probably the most toxic environment I ever worked. By far. I mean, this man told me in a staff meeting that I was so dumb I shouldn't have children. Oh my gosh. Because of a problem that happened. Now, that was 2002 when he said that. 2002 and 2025 are two different places. And I wasn't that long out of the military. I had drill sergeants and first sergeants say a lot worse to me than that. So it upset me a great deal in the moment. But I didn't like walk out or quit and say, you can't do that. I mean, you just do your job, keep your head down and keep going. But it was a toxic environment.